everybody, this is Ashley in the editor's booth. Season 5 begins in September, but rather than going dark during August, we thought we'd offer you a peek behind the scenes by sharing one of the perks usually reserved for our Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee members. We release one minisode every month, sometimes related to the theme for the month and sometimes not. They're usually shorter and a bit more casual. This particular episode is a continuation of our What a Disaster theme from June 2025, titled Disaster After Disaster, and it's a look at some of the more personal disasters that Candy and I have lived through. If you'd like to listen to the rest of our catalog, consider becoming a member through Buy Me a Coffee or Patreon. You can find the link to both on our website, scandalwaterpodcast.com. We hope you enjoy the episode. Cheers!
The curtain opens in 3, 2, 1.
Hi, Candy.
Hey, Ashley.
How are you?
I'm good. Ready to talk about disasters.
What a disaster!
Yeah, I've actually enjoyed this month a lot. It's been really fun. Well, not fun. Interesting. It's been very interesting talking about the topics that we've chosen.
Yes.
But now we're making it real.
We are a little bit. Like, part of what inspired this, I think, is when you played the real life account in our Twisters episode, your friends Jennifer and Rocky, where they talked about a real life experience with disasters. We thought, well, what if we did a little of everything? Let's just make it kind of a variety where we talk about maybe personal disasters we've lived through, disaster movies we can't watch anymore, what kind of disaster stuff we like to watch, just a hodgepodge of everything.
That's right.
So what would you like to start with?
Goodness. Well, you just showed me a disaster video.
The video,
yes.
yeah.
Why don't we talk about that?
Okay, sure. So I can't remember a lot of disasters that I lived through. So let me preface it with that. So Candy's going to talk about some stuff that she did. I've only got one tiny story and it's not that interesting. But I told her, it came up on my Facebook memories today, and something that I weirdly like to watch that sort of comforts me is Good Samaritans rescuing people. There's a YouTube series called Faith and Humanity Restored. That's not always disasters, but they'll have people who
Just do kind things.
Yes, and just random folks. There's one that I loved where a woman's car stops in the middle of an intersection and you see all these people from different cars. They come together and they push her to safety. It's just almost like watching real life movies. But I hesitate to say favorite. That sounds terrible. But one of the ones I find most compelling actually came up in the memories today. I said, oh my gosh, Candy, this is kind of like a sign I need to talk about this. But there was a tornado in Texas and a truck had overturned and there were 2 babies stuck in this truck. And it's 6 minutes of something that you would only see in a disaster movie because it's all of these people from different walks of life, all ethnicities. They come together and they are working furiously to rescue these 2 children from this truck. It is flipped over upside down in water. The water is rushing. There's lightning flashing all around them. I'm getting goosebumps even talking about it. And the people are doing whatever they can. I mean, there's high tension.
Oh, the urgency.
The urgency is there.
Because this is real. These are real lives of these babies.
Yes, they are yelling at each other, but not yelling in a mean way. They're just yelling like, get me what I need now, call 911. The person says, I've already done it. They do get both of the children out. And the headline says it was an infant and a 2-year-old. I don't know what happened to the parents. I'm assuming that they were okay, or maybe they were part of the rescue crew as well. But they just work together to get these babies out of there. And it just brings me to tears thinking about the goodness of people.
Out.
Yes, you see them pull and then do CPR on the baby. Oh, it's so much. It's so good in a good faith and humanity kind of good way.
And I think that's one of the things that we do love about disaster stories in general, whether they're true or whether they're not. Life is full of so many horrible things, and it just gives you hope to see the way
there's good people.
Yeah, that there are good people out there, and the fact that it just reminds you that you can overcome, and just that uplifting feeling when a life is saved.
Yeah.
Because people were willing to sacrifice themselves or to do hard things.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just beautiful.
So I recommend Faith and Humanity Restored. I don't know that you'll be able to find this particular clip. I don't know that I could re-find it on YouTube. I could try to put it in the show notes, but it is a beautiful display of humanity.
Nice.
So what about you?
Well, I was trying to think if I'd ever lived through a disaster, and I certainly have not had any hardships like other people have. But Kirk and he helped me recall that we did have this one experience. We think it was back in 2008 in the fall. It was so unprecedented for us in Kentucky to be affected by a hurricane. But the winds that came through as a result of this big hurricane that had hit, I'm sure did so much damage in other areas, but we just had the after effects, this wind, and it knocked out the power. It was really fierce. In terms of Kirk and myself, we got lucky. It was just being out of power and having to deal with some of those inconveniences. But I remember my mom and her husband Joe, both elderly, both physically not able to do stairs or to do things, and they were on the 5th floor of a condo, and the elevator's out. They couldn't go anywhere. Like, they were not.
So what did they do?
Well, they stayed in the condo, and we brought them food every day and climbed up the stairs and checked on them and brought them what they needed. And even in terms of, it started to get really hot and stuffy, and they had this little sliding glass door with just a very tiny little balcony, and they would take their chairs and sit
out there.
Yes, sit out there. And
Wow.
you know, it made me think about the fact that even if it's not something really cataclysmic, we get so used to some of the things that we have in life, and it can be very dangerous for people who have medical conditions or whose health or whose circumstances make them a little more at risk. Like, it doesn't take something severe. It can be something
very
smaller that can really affect them. But I'll jump on and say that after that happened, it wasn't that much later. I think it was in early 2009 that we then had a huge ice storm.
That's right.
Yes, and it knocked the power out, and now it's winter, and Kirk and I had to go to my mom's condo and use their condo to stay warm,
because
to
they had
shower.
power.
They had power, we did not, and then our friends Jennifer and Rocky, actually towards the end of it, we didn't know we were almost at the end of it, but they were kind enough to bring us finally, I think it was like a kerosene heater or something, and we tried to stay in our house like the last day or two. But it was a very interesting year. I remember that.
That's what my one story comes from that I can remember. Like we said off mic, we're probably going to think, oh yeah, that, and that. But in the ice storm of 2009, I wasn't married yet. I was living in a rental house next to my mom. But the power went out, and I thought, oh, it's, it's not going to be for very long. This is my chance. I was going to romanticize the situation. I'm going to live like a colonial person. I'll go to bed with the sun and get up with the sun. I'm going to read by lamplight.
Oh, that sounds so lovely, doesn't it?
For about a day. And after that, I even tried to read like books by Thomas Jefferson. I don't know. I was really investing.
Oh, you were into it.
I was investing in the whole romance of it. And I was like, this is crap. I belong in the time period I am in. I need electricity. I need light. I need heat. This is all terrible. I hate it. So it was very first world of me. But I was attempting to be a colonial girl for 2 seconds. And I found out. That's why God chose to put me in the birth year of 1980, because he knew you wouldn't last.
Yes. You know, I shouldn't even go here, and I'm gonna only touch on this because I don't want to go there, to be honest. But the pandemic, you want to talk about a disaster,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
I will just make this comment that in the early days, when I was most terrified and I didn't understand anything and I thought germs were everywhere. Like I was afraid to walk around my own house, I think, in some instances, because I didn't know what was going on, And I remember getting in the car and going out and everything being shut down, and I thought, I am in a dystopian novel.
Yeah, that is true.
I am in Stephen King.
Very true.
Yes.
You would go to the grocery and there would be announcements of reminders to stay 6 feet away from people. And it did. You're right. It felt very dystopian. Even go to the grocery, nobody wanted to trust anybody. Nobody was talking to anybody anymore. Yes. Everybody was the enemy. Who can you trust? That kind of thing. It got very dystopian very fast. I remember when they finally opened up the shopping. For a long time, the only place I could go where I lived was a dollar store, because the grocery stores were allowed to stay open, but a dollar store has some other decorative stuff. I decorated my office with dollar store stuff. I was like, okay, well, this is the way it is. Yeah. But they finally opened retails, and I went to TJ Maxx. And I was like, I'm going to shop. I'm
so
going to
excited.
shop. And I picked out a purse, and there was a line wrapped around the inside of the building.
Wow.
To check out that purse. But I was like, I'm doing it. I'm getting this
Yes.
purse. This is my reward for making it through these 2 months of super isolation.
And on the one hand, it made me appreciate things that I should have been appreciating more, nature, walks,
yeah.
just the simple things in life. So there were good that came from it. On the other, going back to what you said, boy, did it make me appreciate the conveniences.
Yes.
When a fast food restaurant would open.
I'm going.
Or, yes, I mean, talk about not taking things for granted.
A lot of people will talk about, let's put aside the travesty of what was happening. Let's just talk about the isolation. Some people, myself included, were like, I really needed this kind of reset. Yes, because they reconnected with their family. There was a lot of home renovations that got done because
we
people
did that
looked
as
around.
well.
My vet said that a lot more people started bringing their animals to the vet, and I was like, why? Why are you all so busy? And they said, well, they're home with them, and they're seeing things that they didn't notice, and they're trying to take care of them and get them healthy because they were just gone all the time. But it just really, and we even saw after effects at our theater. Some of the people who wanted to do theater once you fell out of the habit of doing theater, some of them just said, it's not that important to me anymore, or I would rather be home, or I'd rather be with my family, which is fine. But it just shifted. Everybody's priorities kind of got reset as well.
Oh, yeah. It made you re-examine everything. This is such a simplistic little example, but I remember our bedroom has a door that leads to our deck. And it's one of those things where you think it's a great idea when you build your house, and then you realize we never use that. So for privacy, it stays locked all the time, and I always had the shades closed all the time. And it was during the pandemic that I was suddenly like, why are these shades closed? Why are the shades closed on this door and even our windows? We would just out of habit, they just were closed. And I was like, what a difference it makes when you let in the light.
Yes.
And it just became kind of metaphorical.
Yeah.
It made me look at other things. What am I doing out of habit, unexamined? This is just the way it's always been. So I continue to do it. How can I let more light into my life?
Oh, I like that.
So that was something that I took away that was a positive.
Yeah, I guess going with your exam, that is a wonderful metaphor, because I started to get more into my devotionals and time with God and Bible study, and that really reset that part of my life.
Absolutely.
So, and it could be used for good. Good things came out of it, although terrible things too.
That was kind of more profound than I expected.
That's what we do here, Candy.
So let's take it a little bit lighter for just a second. What's a disaster movie that you never want to see or never want to see again?
Okay, well, you know this one.
I do know this one. I wanted you to talk about it, though.
You were setting me up.
I was.
So one of the choices that we had for our series that we were going to do was Titanic. And Candy was like, oh, I would love to do that. I said,
I absolutely would. It breaks my heart that you don't want to do it.
No, we can. We absolutely can, but I will not rewatch the film. Okay. And this is... we can talk about it. I like this. Well, saying I like the story of Titanic, that's terrible to say, but I loved the movie.
You were engrossed in it.
I loved that movie. I was so affected by that movie that the profound feelings and the emotional response that I had to the movie, I never wanted to lose that. So I just sort of, and I saw it, when did it come out? 97? I was 17. I saw it.
Very young.
Very young. I saw it with my dad. I think it was Christmas Day. We watched it together. A little embarrassing for some of the parts, watching with your dad.
Yes.
But I just was so moved. I remember just weeping. And I thought, if I watch this a bunch, it's going to lose that effect. So I made this vow at 17 years old, I'm never watching this film again. And I haven't.
That is interesting that you would.
I never have. I've never watched it again because it was so magnificent to my little 17-year-old self. Now, I'm not saying I'll never see it. I may...
Well, you haven't for all these years. You've stuck to that vow
I have,
so far.
I have so far.
Yeah.
But maybe when I'm older, I may go, that was stupid. I'm going to watch this, and see if I feel the same about it. But there was just the power, watching it with an audience, having this emotional experience, this love story, this trauma, this tragedy. It just was so much that I said, I want to keep that just how it feels right now.
That's really interesting. And I can, honestly, I can see you doing that because
yes.
you kind of,
I'm
you have a little bit of that
like
old
that,
soul.
Yes.
No, it's just something that you would do that's kind of poetic. I will say that I also had an incredibly emotional response to it. This is so interesting. I keep bringing up Jennifer and Rocky, but we saw that movie with them and we could not leave the theater afterwards because Jennifer and I could not stop sobbing.
Oh, yeah.
And so like the fellas just had to sit there and wait and it would be like, are y'all okay?
Can we leave now?
Are you good? Because we were really going to go get dessert or something afterwards and we couldn't go.
No.
But I think I have always been fascinated by the story of Titanic.
Yeah.
And then kids are fascinating. We taught a unit to our students and we would look at the nonfiction story and we would do, we did not recommend the movie. We did not
Sure.
with kids. I mean, that, because these are 7th graders I'm talking about, so this is not for them. But to be honest, most of them had seen it anyway.
Sure.
But we would just talk about the story, and we would read excerpts and read nonfiction. And anyway, the kids are fascinated, and so it fed my fascination even more.
Have you been to one of the museums?
Absolutely,
I
I
have too, yeah.
Yeah, I've been to the museums, and I've read books, and I've watched the documentaries where they took the submersible down to see it. I mean, I've done the deep dives, which is why I think it would be fun.
We should. We can absolutely
Yeah.
do it. I just won't watch the movie.
Well, and that's perfectly okay,
Yes.
because I'm sure it's already etched in your mind.
It really is.
Yeah.
I've seen I think it's funny. We can have the debate about the door, which I don't think it was a door. Didn't they say that I think they came out later and she said it's not even a door. It's something else, that a part of a stairwell or something that Jack wouldn't have fit on. Would he have fit on the door or not fit
He
on the door?
absolutely would have fit on that.
Absolutely he would have.
Even
yeah.
watching it in the moment, I was like, why is he not just getting on there with her? Why?
And I remember watching it and she says, Jack, I'll never let go. And then she lets go of him. I was like, well, that's terrible. I'll never
know.
let go. Bloop. And then she lets go.
Yes, I remember in the moment. I was like, what is happening here?
Yeah, get him up there. Get him up there.
Get up. Come on. But no, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful movie.
So what can you not watch?
I will never in my life watch Snakes on a Plane or anything that deals with
Anaconda?
Thank you, no.
Yeah.
Pass.
So
Hard
what's
pass.
your relationship with snakes?
None. Zero. I need no relationship with snakes. None.
So I had no idea that you had this adverse relationship to snakes.
Oh.
No clue. When we were on the trip to Texas, you probably don't even remember this. We are walking along the Riverside area and I'm just chatting away.
Oh my gosh.
I'm chatting
Oh
away.
my gosh.
And I look and you're gone. You're just gone.
I screamed first, and I think I yelled something.
I don't
but
know
it
what
was
you did.
loud, and you.
I didn't notice. I'd walked several paces, and then I look back, and you're on your phone, and you're freaking out, and I think, oh my gosh.
I was trying to call you because I could tell you didn't know what.
I had no clue. I
Yeah.
thought something's happened at home. Oh my goodness. I hope her family's okay. And did I come back to you? I don't even know.
You came back to me, I think, if
and
I
then
recall.
then you said there was a snake, and I was like, where? I didn't even see it.
Losing my mind.
You were losing your mind.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't look at a picture of them.
Really? Well, what started this? Let's dive in.
I don't know.
Lay
Ever
down on
since
my
I
couch,
was-
Candy.
Ever since I was a child, I'm phobic.
Really?
I would probably fight children to get out of the way if somebody had a snake coming at
You're
me.
on the Titanic, and they're like, here in this lifeboat, this child, but here's this snake also wants on. You're like, get out of my
I'm
way.
gonna die. I will die on this boat. No, I can't. I cannot even look at them.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I remember my grandparents gave us like a Bible storybook when we were children, and
Oh.
it was like
The serpent.
yes, and I was like,
Nope.
can't look at it. Just let's clip those pages together. Yeah, I mean, no.
Wow, that's kind of how I feel about heights. Like just manageable heights, not even airplane heights, but just the manageable heights when it's something like I could fall and I could get hurt. I can't handle it. I just can't handle it.
There's no explanation for phobias, right?
No,
I mean,
there's not.
And there's no, I'm sure, I guess with intensive training, there might be fixing
But
them.
you don't want to.
But for normal people like us, no fixing them. And you are right. No desire. Just keep them away from me.
So do you even remember where was the snake in Texas? Do you remember what it was?
It was around the neck.
Yeah, it was around somebody's neck.
Yes,
He was like walking around
like
with this.
You know what? That's why I didn't go back to Thunder over Louisville for years, because
Really?
the same thing.
Somebody had a
walking-
snake walking
Yes.
around? Who in the world would do that?
Well, a lot of people do. Yeah. No, that kind of stuff. No, not okay. Not okay.
You hear that, guys? No snakes for Candy. Don't put us on it. Don't put
Don't
put
you
us
give them ideas.
a manageable height with a snake. We
No.
will just lose our minds. The two of us will just lay down and die right there.
Absolutely. Whew, all right. Well, now I'm sweating.
Me too.
I'm serious. Like I got tense talking about that. So now that I'm sweating.
I'm sorry.
Well, okay, really now I do feel like we talked about disasters. Okay, all right. Well, that's it, guys. I
We were
guess.
profound and we were silly and we exposed our souls to you all. So there you
So-
go. Now you know our deepest, darkest.
And on that note, thank you for
thank
supporting
you.
us despite our craziness.
That's right.
We love you. We
We'll
thank you.
We'll see you next month.
All right, bye.
Bye.
If you love what we do, please rate and review our show or become a supporter through Buy Me a Coffee or Patreon. Whether a single gift or recurring monthly donation, your support is what allows us to keep the tea brewing.
Subscribe on your favorite podcast app or the Scandal Water Podcast YouTube channel, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Show notes are available at our website, scandalwaterpodcast.com, where you can also access the merch store and more.
This episode was executive produced by Candy Thomas, that's me, and Ashley Raymer Brown.
That's me.
It was researched and written by Candy Thomas and edited by Ashley Raymer Brown.
A special thank you to Josh Martin, who wrote, composed, and performed the Scandal Water theme and other music, Matt C. Adams, who created the artwork, and Joshua Reith, who designed our website and provides ongoing technical support.
As a reminder, this podcast is purely for entertainment purposes. The thoughts and opinions of the host during each episode of Scandal Water are their own and do not reflect the opinions of any future guests, advertisers, or clearly professional psychologists. Thanks for listening.